Hello, on today's video we will be working on shooting. So I prepared diagram how our shooting will work. We have player controller, and in player controller we will have function shoot, which will call function shoot in a weapon class, and it will call function and it will shoot the bullet. We'll do that by instantiate function. And our player will keep reference for our weapon, and the same will be for our bullet in our weapon script. Okay, and later on in the later tutorials, not today, we'll also add a weapon system where we will hold all the weapons, so that our weapon system will be working between player controller. But don't focus on that. That will be done later on later episodes. Okay, so now let's focus on this diagram and let's get to coding. Okay, so we'll start from the bottom up of our diagram. So first we will create bullet, then we create weapon, and then we will attach all to the player controller. So starting on the bullet, let's create empty, as usually do. Reset everything and change the name to the bullet. And also we need some graphics, so let's add to the object sprite, and let's change the sprite for the knob from the Unity system. We will not add any special bullet for this one, maybe later on. Okay, bullet image, and now let's change maybe the bullet look to gold one. Okay, 1 second. Our bullet, let's change sorting layer to the gameplay. Let's hide player for now so you see everything, and let's hide the main camera. Okay, that's our bullet. Okay, so let's make prefab. No, not yet. Let's create script for our bullet. Let's call it projectile. No, let's call it bullet. Okay, now we're good. Maybe okay, let's say with the bullet. Now let's attach it here, and now we can start coding. Okay, so Visual Studio is loaded. Let's zoom in, and we can start working on our bullet script. First, what we need to do, how our bullet will work. When we will instantiate our bullet, it will start running forward or fly forward with speed we want to define. So for our bullet we need speed, we need damage, and to set speed on our bullet we need reference to the rigid body, similar how we did with our player movement script. Okay, so now rbtd is equal to get component rigid body 2D. And what we want to do, we want, as I said, when our bullet is created, so on the function start, we want to set velocity for our bullet, and it will be, when we do it through a rigid body velocity, we will just set using that call we'll set the callout. We'll just set the velocity of our rigid body, so we'll have steady speed in on all on through the way of our bullet. So now let's do it transform dot up multiplied by our speed. Okay, let's save this one and transform up. When we take our bullet and transform, this is our vector of the transform up. So when we rotate our player, our bullet will already be shot in the direction of our weapon, because in a few minutes on our weapon we'll attach the fire point, and our bullet will be shooting from the fire point. But we will do that from the weapon script. Okay, so that's for our bullet to fly. Main camera is not rendering. Okay, and we didn't add the rigid body script, the rigid body component. 2D. So now let's change gravity scale to 0. Let's add damage and speed. Our bullet. So when I press play, and we didn't see nothing because our camera was not rendering. Let's change it here for 1. Okay, so as you can see, our bullet is flying forward. That's what we want to have. So now we can create our weapon. For our weapon, we need also you will need a graphic. Sprite. Oh, let's reset everything here and here. Okay, image, and let's go to the graphic, top-down shooter, PNG, and let's use. Oh, we can use this one. Weapon image. Again, set the rendering for the gameplay. Okay, I can do this that way because player will be on the layer 0. So if we put order in layer 1, our gun will be above our player. Okay. So now we will need to add also a fire point for our gun. Change the name to the fire point. And the best way to do that will be to create prefab for our weapon. You can see now that we have prefab for our weapon, and we can go just inside with the double click. Okay, let's check the import. First, let's check the import of our graphic, because I'm afraid that we might not change that one to the 64. Yeah, exactly. Let's change to 64 and hit apply. So our graphic should get a little bit larger. Okay, now we need our gun to be pointing to our transform up, because that's the direction from what we're shooting our bullet, and that's the direction that our bullet flies to. So let's rotate our image Z by 90. Oh no, not by 90. Yeah, by 90. Yeah, it's correct. Because now our weapon transform up, your game object is looking on the correct position, same as the fire point. Let's move our fire point to the end of our gun. Let's put it like 0.14, and now we have our point, and from that point our bullet will start flying. Okay. So now let's create the script for the weapon. And what we need to have is definitely our weapon reference, our bullet reference, sorry. This is the bullet we instantiate that we just created a few minutes ago. And what's more? We have a bullet. From now, we need to know where we know what we should instantiate, and we need to know where it should be instantiated. So let's create public transform fire point, and also our weapon will send information to the bullet how much damage the bullet needs to do to target it hits. So let's write damage, let's set it for 1, default 1, and we also need to define how often our gun shots, so that it's the fire rate that needs to be defined. But let's do it by shots per second. Okay, we will not need those two functions because our shot, as we talked before, we called the shot function, we called from the player script the weapon script, and we will just make reference in the player controller or our shot function. Now let's write our shot function. And to instantiate our bullet, int function instantiate bullet fire point dot position and fire point dot rotation. Okay, what we just did here, we use function instantiate that says what type of component we want to instantiate. This is the type of our bullet. The fire point position is the fire point just created here, so we instantiate bullet on the position of our fire point game object and with the rotation of our fire point. Okay. Here. Okay, this is we could instantiate our bullet without that, but this one, this callout, will let us to set the bullet parameters. If you write bullet equal bullet dot damage is equal to damage of our weapon. Okay, so now we are shooting. But if we keep the function to look like that, if we press fire button, that will we keep spamming bullets every frame, and we don't want to do that. So we need to use our shots per second. So let's maybe let's start from this line. So next shots per second. No, sorry. we need one more variable. It will be float next shoot time. Next shoot time. So okay. So the next shoot time will be equal to time dot time. Time dot time is the function that it's callout that lets us to take the time we currently have since the game started. So if we now add one pass shots per second, now we have the time. This is the current time. The time we are defining here, the current time plus 1 divided by shots per second. So if we put here 1, we'll have 1 second more. If we put like 2 here, we'll have half of a second. So we will make 2 shots per second, and that means that to our time dot time will be added just half of a second. And if we make a statement here, if next shoot time is less than or equal to time dot time, move everything here, that means that our next shot, if we will shoot, our next shot time will happen if we have 1 shot per second. If our next shot will happen in 1 second from now. So in 1 second from now, that function will be true and will let us shoot again. I hope that's clear enough. Let's press Ctrl Save. And now we need a small modification to our player script. Let's go to our player controller. And what we need to do is make a reference to weapon. Not void public weapon. And we need just to shoot with that function. So let's make a shoot function. Public void shoot, and it will be calling shoot function in our weapon script. Okay. Weapon dot shoot. And this function will happen when our statement will be true. So when we'll press fire button, input dot get button, and we need to press fire. Here we just shoot. Okay, so our scripts are ready. We just need to check what is our fire button. I want it to, fire 1 button. I want it to be left mouse button. So let's go to check to the input settings. 1 second for Unity to update everything, and build setting. Edit project settings. Let's go to the horizontal fire 1, and it's mouse 0. Okay, so it's left mouse button. Okay, so we are good. but we need just to, right, yeah, it's US prefab, and let's make prefab of our bullet also. Okay, so let's attach our weapon to our player. Let's remove our bullet from here and hide our player. Camera. 1 second, because we chosen the graphic with the weapon, so let's for now hide the image of our weapon. When we will work on the visuals, we'll change our graphic. That's not important for now. Important for now is shooting. So what I'm doing now is just moving our weapon just to match our current gun position. Okay, so the end of our gun should be the end of gun of our sprite. Now let's hide the sprite renderer for our gun. Okay. We didn't have attached this weapon script to our weapon, so let's do it now. Weapon and override and apply to all. So we'll apply it applied changes to our prefab. Let's make 2 shots per second, and we need to make reference to our bullet. As I said, this is the what we will be shooting, and this is from where we will be shooting. Okay, so that's our fire point. Now we haven't moved our fire point, so let's go again to our weapon. So hide for now, and let's move our fire point is in the correct position. So let's check this one, the fire point here. Okay, it's okay. It's good. Okay, so we have our weapon. This is our bullets. The player have the reference to our weapon. No, not yet. So let's make reference to our weapon. And now we should be able to shoot. Let's test it. We didn't press the camera again. Okay, let's test it. We're moving and we're shooting. Nice. Let's change the speed of our bullets to make it more fun. Okay, nice. We're shooting nice. Okay, one more thing. It will be boring. It would be boring if we couldn't kill anything with our bullets. So maybe now let's make. Let's add 2 more things. First, when we shoot, as you can see, the bullets got instantiated, and the bullets keep alive, so it will not be very efficient for our game, because we'll have soon too many objects in our game, and that will slow down our game. So I don't want to have that. There's a simple way to fix that. Just let's go to the bullet, and if we make on the start the function destroy game object, it will destroy this game object. So this will destroy the bullet, but we don't want to destroy it on the start, so we can delay that if we use destroy game object, and if we will provide the float here number like 3, it will be 3 seconds. So our bullets will get destroyed after 3 seconds from when we shoot them. To make hit on the target, we need to add function on collider enter 2D, and this is what we'll get, what we can call when our collider attached to our bullet will hit another collider. So collision, let's destroy this bullet on collision. No, first let's destroy target we hit. On the next episode, we'll be working on the health system, so that function will change, but now I want to show you how it works. So if we make collision game object here, our collider will destroy object it hits, and after we destroy object we hit, we want to destroy also our bullet. Destroy game object. Okay, so now it will work fine if we attach collider to our bullet. Okay, and we haven't attached collider to our bullet. Okay, so now let's do it now. Circle collider 2D, and let's change the size of our collider to match correctly our bullet. It will be okay. If I have seen correctly, it should be something like that. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so we have collider on our bullet, and now we need to create some object we want to hit. So maybe let's call it zombie. Let's create a graphic for a zombie. PNG. Yeah, we have zombie here. Zombie with guns, nice. And let's import sprite as 64 bits. And let's move this one to the gameplay. Let's move zombie. Okay, and reset everything here. And let's move zombie away from our player. Maybe let's make 2 zombies. No, sorry, not yet. Let's add collider also to our zombie. It's a big collider. Maybe let's make it more realistic. That will work for our test. Okay, so let's make 2 zombies. And let's test how it works. Okay, we can move, we can shoot, so bam, and we killed our zombies. So that's all in that episode. In the next episode, we'll work on the health system. So we will not insta-kill our zombies. We will need to kill them with a few shots. And also we'll add health bars, also for our player and for the zombies. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you like the video, please put the thumb up and subscribe. Thank you very much and have a nice day.